When it comes to collecting Masterpiece Transformers, two companies come to mind that get me excited. Fans Toys and X-Transbots. You have to admit X-Transbots has some of the best figures, best releases on the market right now, starting with their Cosmos. Their Cosmos is the best Cosmos available by most people's standard. Also, their Neptune, their Sea Spray, is by far the best Sea Spray currently on the market. They also have the best version of Hoist. Their Hoist is great. It looks good, it feels good, it's solid. They also have the best version of Trailbreaker. They actually have a couple versions of Trailbreaker, and it's still the best until, well, Fans Toys comes out. Maybe they'll beat them. Even their KFC releases that are associated with them, that's the King Gorilla and the King Zilla, or Gorilla Zilla. Those two are excellent figures. KFC also has the best blaster on the market. Well, it's kind of not fair. It's really the only third-party blaster that is in the G1. But that's the thing. X-Transbots does good work. Today I want to talk about more stuff they have coming down the pipeline. We've seen some of it. We've seen new pictures recently that I'm going to share with you coming up. So now I'm glad I saved this list of upcoming release lists from X-Transbots, and I want to talk about a couple things. First off, I want to go through each one of these releases and kind of what I know about it, and I also want to say that what I like the most about X-Transbots is how Keith stays so close to G1. It's just awesome. If you're a G1 collector, X-Transbots is there for you. So is KFC. So let's get right into the first one, which is Dr. Egg. So what all do we know about this Dr. Egg? Not a whole lot, but we do know that they're working on it. Now, looking at this picture, we can see the size of it, the height of it. It's going to be taller than a Carbot based on these pictures that we've seen. So it's going to be bigger than the cars that were their Minosaur cars. Does look very good. It even looks even more detailed than the Unique Toys version. I know the Unique Toys version did an excellent job. They did a fantastic job. I have them. I like them. But I always wondered, what if another third-party company like X-Transbots or Fans Toys or MFC or one of them took a stab at it? This guy is going to blow it out of the park. Don't know if it has a lighting gimmick or not. Not really sure if that's going to be something incorporated. But X-Transbots has been dropping some hints like, hey, this is coming soon. We're starting to put some paint on it. Here's what it looks like painted. Here's some more pictures with it. And it's pretty exciting. When we get these little nuggets, these little crumbs of they're still working on it, that makes me feel good, makes me excited. And I hope to see it. According to the release date, this would be next. But there's some other things that make me curious about what's actually next. Adhering to the list I showed you earlier, the second release that would be coming would be this trailer. Now, I think all these releases could be scrambled up. That was the original plan, and who knows. But here comes the trailer. I want to point out a few things about this trailer. I currently have all of the other iterations of Minosaur that are Masterpiece scale. This is the only one you can actually put a car in. So that's pretty awesome. You can put cars in this. The trailer works as a functioning trailer because it's a trailer. It's not the rest of the entire figure, either one figure for Fans Toys is incorporated trailer. The other figure, the trailer has all of the parts inside. I'm interested in seeing how this works, how this transforms, how this does everything it's supposed to do. It kind of blows my mind. Like, you could fit figures in there and you can do the same thing that was done with the DX9 version. So it's really going to be an interesting feat of engineering. Or there's a whole lot of add-on parts that are going to get used. Now, however this trailer turns into their Minosaur, the one thing that stands is their Minosaur looks good, and their Minosaur is actually going to be the first one to market that's complete. Now, I do have a philosophy. If you're first, sometimes you're worse. And if you're last, you better be best or you're not going to sell. That's that. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple marketing philosophy. They're first, and they still look good. Their individual figures look good, and I've got some sort of an abomination going on with the main body of DX9 and then the X-Transbots limbs working on it. But that's my abomination. It still looks good, and it just kind of makes me think, well, how exactly is this one going to look? And I'm starting to really like the way the DX9 looks, but I think his lower legs are too big. With this one, the lower legs aren't too big. So showing you the little release schedule again. I'm not going to talk more about Gravestone now because there's more coming up. But the next one is number 3, Lock or Cup. Now we've seen the renders, and I was really brutal on the renders. And I want to admit that my view of the render was changed when I see the actual colored prototype. I think the prototype looks better than the render. And maybe that's just the way the render has to be posed, I guess. And then you can really pose it in real world, in real life. I do like the actual real world figure a little bit better. I do like that he's shiny. A lot of people don't. I do wish that we get the cartoon accurate chest. We don't know so much about it yet. Here's the alt mode. In the alt mode, you don't see the cartoon accurate windshield, which I would like. Maybe there's going to be a swap out to it. Then a lot of people speculate that this was just kind of like a quick, rough draft of a prototype, and all of the extra paint apps that are on there because it's completely monotone or mostly monotone. So we'll see coming up when it's actually released, but it should be coming pretty soon. And I think that this is one that's further in the works than others that we're about to show. Next on this list would be the Verjuice Springer that was announced about 3 years ago. I'm ultra excited about this Springer. I think it looks great in all modes. I think it really will be the best looking in bot mode. It will be the cleanest, but it'll have a wide backpack. So every single figure seems to have some sort of trade-off. I really don't like Fans Toys' lower legs. I just think they're just too bulky. And when I get this in hand, I think I'll be able to show how this is much cleaner in the lower legs. I think their design overall in X-Transbots is a better design. Here's another digital render of the helicopter mode, which again, I love the helicopter mode. I think it looks great. I love the colors on it. I love the design. I love everything about it. So we've gotten more pictures recently about the Verjuice in the helicopter mode, and it shows it as a pure prototype. It looks solid. It matches their render. It looks amazing. If this matches the render, I imagine the bot matches the render. I'm excited. I haven't seen real paint on it, but I'll still be excited about that. You can show the little missile that it comes with. It comes with a blast effect to show it flying, or you can put that same blast effect on the gun. Things that we didn't know about before. Maybe these are added extra touches that they're doing in their post-prep work or pre-production phases, whatever you want to call it. But this does look good. Here it is from a different angle and what we don't see in the renders. We can see right here. Looks like this might just be me, but on the very top, sort of behind the propeller, you got room to store 2 guns. I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be. But it's starting to... That reminded me of like a mainline, but it still didn't take away from the fact that this is an awesome looking figure. Has an opening cockpit. I wonder if you can fit any figures in there. Would they include figures you could put in there, or it's just the detail that you're going to see? I'm sure they're going to have it painted. I'm sure it's going to be better painted than this. They also incorporated weapon storage for this figure in the base of the stand, so that looks cool. That's awesome. I mean, you got to incorporate weapon storage somewhere. And there's the sword. Look at that sword. The sword is the same kind of transformation as the G1, what we all have come to expect from a sword that you would get from this character. Next on this list, we see the G2 Monolith would be like releases 5 through 9. I'm expecting possibly a box set. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, it's funny to me that they displayed a G2 coloration of their Minosaur at one of the last TF cons, and I thought it was odd in a way that they showed that before showing the regular one fully painted, fully 100%. original G1. They had the G2 look going on, which makes me start to think there's a box set. The box set, I'm guessing, by just my guess, I did some numbers, I ran some numbers, I deducted some packaging costs, and just threw out $399.99 for the set. I think it's going to be a $400 set. And I don't know, I might be in on a $400 set of a G2 Menasor if they do it that way. Now, there's a couple of downsides to the people that bought them all along and paid $70 a piece or whatever. They might lose out and get burned. That might be a negative. They might just reissue all of them. Who knows? I doubt that, though. See, I doubt they'll reissue them individually. I think you'd have to buy it as a box set, but I think that would upset people. So still a big giant question in the air. So the next question now, I've had more time to think about this. So what would Brother Octopus be? I'm thinking it would be a Quintesson prosecutor. Real quick, this is the Impossible Toys one. That was a sales picture from TF Source. TF Source had this clearanced out for $21, and now it sells for $200. I really think it would be this guy. It's not an octopus to say because it doesn't have 4 limbs. Maybe the X-Transbots version will have 4 tentacle arms instead of just 3 each on each side. So the last two, 11 and 12, talk about a Deathsaurus and a Lieutenant. So what would that look like? I would think, here's a Deathsaurus. This is definitely not X-Transbots Deathsaurus. But the thing is, I think theirs would be big, menacing. It would look amazing if they did a Deathsaurus. But it would shock me and surprise me because it would be their first time they veered away or outside of the G1 continuity from the US cartoon, movie, TV show. Everything else they did is 100% US. That starts getting into G1 Japanese. Now, again, Keith's a collector himself. Maybe he really does like these characters and wants to see them made, and that's why he's going for it. Maybe the information is wrong, but information that's wrong is still fun to speculate about. What could Lieutenant be? Number 12, Lieutenant Dan. No, it could be a Star Saber. Now, this one is the Iron Trans version that is starting to show up at retailers. ShowZ has informed me that it's on the way. It's incoming. I'm going to be paying my pre-order and getting this guy into review. I'm looking forward to it. Even though I have no connection to the character, I think it's a very outstanding looking bot. It's going to be big. It's going to be massive. It's going to have a lot of die-cast. And I think X-Transbots might be rivaling them. They might want to put their own out. Would that make a good Lieutenant? We also know X-Transbots has their Elita 1 coming, and we saw it in just plastic, probably 3D printed kind of plastic, from just pink. So we don't have all the different shades of pink with the white added in and all that stuff, but still looks good. Makes me wonder how good X-Transbots would have done if they would have taken a stab at RC. We'll see how this Elita 1 goes. And of course, Elita 1 is going right back, throwing homage right back into G1 and the G1 cartoon. And we still haven't heard much about Autobot Spike, which was interesting. A lot of people have questions about it. Will it transform? Probably not. But it does look good. It does look like it will have some die cast. And then again, there's a lot of people saying, well, I already have my Blue Lobster, so my Blue Lobster fits that bill. If it's not going to transform, then I'll keep my Blue Lobster. But I'd still like to see X-Transbots take a stab at it. I would actually like to see theirs transform into an abomination of a car mode or an alt mode. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments what you think about the X-Transbots figures that are coming. Which ones do you have that you like, that you love? Do you think this company is top-notch? Do you not like this company at all? Do you veer away from it? Because if you steer away from X-Transbots, you're definitely missing out. Like, subscribe, Teddy Hangar out.